Hey, hi, how are you guys? So I'm here a little early, and if those of you are on, hi and welcome. I just thought I'd take a few minutes to acclimate myself and my camera person over there. I'm not completely set up here to do this, as I don't have my, don't even have my door closed. We're still in it. And you know, with us all being sequestered, I couldn't get a tripod or anything to do this, but it's about, so I have my husband. So thanks, Ace, for being there.
I have a lot of people waving at you.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So good. Don't turn your camera like So this is going to be great. And I saw from some of your posts that there are people that are in New York. So hi to everyone who's ever been at my studio when I was in New York, and people who are in teacher training. And I know some of you are talking about being on this together. It's kind of fantastic, really, right? That we're all together doing this. And that's really what I think we need to remember. So we have another minute. I'm going to give folks a few moments to join on. I'm sure they're continuing to join. And get yourself set up. You know, have yourself in a, my phone. That's home. Okay, open. Great. Good. I'm sorry. This is a problem. There we go. Sorry. Little technical difficulty. Forgive me. So if you have a mat, you know, and a cushion or blanket and 2 blocks, that could be helpful for you. I'm not seeing you. So it's 8 o'clock, and now we're official, and we're together here on Facebook Live. So I'm feeling all of you. It's really fantastic, actually. I'm imagining all of you out there on your mats. It's funny because I remember my very first time I sent a video out, and I was sending it out, and it reminded me again, I'm dating myself, but when I was a kid, there was Sherry Lewis, and she used to look through her magic glass, and she would say, you know, I see you, Richard, and I see you, Kerry, and I see you, Joe Ellen, and I see you, Pella, and I see you, Jan, and all, you know, and we all as kids felt so seen. And so I see you all, and I feel you all in my heart. And I think that's what we're all doing here, is connecting and remembering, you know, even though we are personal distancing, we are not distancing. In fact, in many ways, we're working even harder to stay connected. You know, we're giving virtual hugs, we're reaching out to our loved ones, we're doing classes online, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So many of us are getting pushed to do the things that we've kind of held off, projects in our home. I know some of us are taking a room a day and cleaning out. We're cooking more, we're taking good care of ourselves, getting out in nature, and all those good things. So when I prepare for class, I like to read through things and feel inspired, and so many delicious things nourishing my heart. And yesterday I came upon a video, thank you Devarshi for posting it, by Deepak Chopra. And the very first line he said just kind of put it all in place. And I have some notes here. He said, emotions are more contagious than any virus. A pandemic of anxiety and stress can actually compromise our immune system. But to also know that our healthy emotions of joy and compassion and kindness will boost our immune system. And I know that connecting, and I also know that doing our practice can help to calm that nervous system, the nervous system that is more our fight and flight. And so I know that, you know, I may not be out, I can't deliver meals You know, there are lots of things I can't do, being in a particular category these years, but I can do this. And so if it's of any help and support and this way of connecting, for that I am forever grateful. Because, you know, everything we do and think and say affects everything. And it doesn't just affect, you know, cultivating the wise emotions or the healthy emotions are not just for our mind and our heart, but that has a direct connection to our immune system and to our physical body. So it all matters, right? It all matters. So you all came on to do this. And I always say, you know, that we always say that, you know, the word yoga actually means union, or the already state of oneness. And all of our practices are about helping us to have that experience, to know ourselves here at home, right? And this quote, I don't remember, it's either from Sharon Salzberg or Sylvia Borstein. It was from one of my retreats with them. And she said, practice is an amazing adventure of exploration. We get to see and meet ourselves. And that's really that opportunity. It's like a little retreat time for yourself in the midst of your day. And I like to believe, you know, we're going to take a little time here, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but we can do, you know, short minutes many times. So it's nice to have a longer time, but it shouldn't keep us from taking those shorter times, right? Sylvia always likes to say, and I love it, may I meet this moment fully, may I meet it as a friend. It's both a blessing for ourselves and each other. It speaks to both wisdom and compassion. So I thought we would start this morning with a yin pose, and then we'll take some time to sit, and then do perhaps another yin pose or two, and a little bit of moving the spine in all directions. We'll see what we have time for, and of course take rest. So we'll begin with a wide knee child. Now if any one of you are compromised in your knees, you can do this on your back, just lying on your back and drawing the knees wide. Otherwise, if you would come on to your hands and knees, and if you have a wood surface there, you might like to take a blanket, if you have one, and spread it across your mat. Okay, let's make a little cushion for your knees. Give me a moment here. So I'd like to see you, and I'd like you not to be hiding. Okay, so here we are on our hands and knees. And you just begin to let your knees slide out, nice and wide. And your toes come towards each other. They don't necessarily have to touch. And gently press your buttocks back. And the press comes from your hands, so the weight isn't in your knees. And as I said, if you need, go on your back and spread the knees wide. And then you can come down onto your forearms. And again, just a gentle press there. Now you can support the head with your hands, or make a little temple with your thumbs and rest your forehead. Or even as you relax more, you can spread the hands and rest one hand on the other. I love to do this pose at the beginning of practice because it prepares the body for sitting. The hips open, and it also prepares my mind. It brings me into this body. So right now, the first tenet in our yin practice is, as you enter the pose, just find the place that feels like an appropriate pressure, or the edge of sensation, meaning any more too much, any less not enough. And then we want the muscles to be passive. Now, it doesn't mean you don't feel the muscles. It just means that they are relaxed. So this is a wonderful time to meet and feel yourself. So take your awareness, scan around in the body, and when you notice an unnecessary tension, take a breath right into that place and relax what you can. that alone is just a wonderful practice of bringing ourselves right into the moment. Whether we're in a yin pose or throughout our day, just stop and scan your body, and when you notice a tension, relax what you can. And then we stay a while here. We stay in these yin poses 3 to 5 minutes because we are accessing the deeper connective tissues on a physical level. And then it becomes quite contemplative, right? Not unlike when you sit in meditation. And then begin to connect to your breath. And just feel how the breath, it naturally breathes you. It is a blessing. We know if we're breathing, we're here alive in this precious human life. It is a sacred life that we are in. So amidst everything else that's happening, this is always happening. Existence itself. And then as you're with the breath, begin to find the breath's rhythm. And that means you can count the breath. And you can just go 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm. See where your inhale goes to, and then let your exhale match it. Or maybe even a count longer. Typically it's somewhere between 3 and 5. If you are familiar with Ujjayi breath, it's a little contraction in the back of your throat. Combine that breath with the count. If you're not familiar with it, just let your breath be steady and long and silky smooth. I found this quote also, I think applies to our times, actually always, but it said, every crisis is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to thrive in the new world that is changing. The better we know ourselves, the less we fear change, the more empowered we are to move in our life. And we are all recognizing that the world is changing, and so are we. And we'll get through this. Now take your last few long breaths here and let your body settle in wherever it's ready to. Now to release this, bring your hands right under your shoulders, lift the torso, let your buttocks come off of your heels, and then lift one knee in towards the center and then the other. And press back into child, or if you're on your back, draw your knees into your chest. Let your torso rest over, and just take a few breaths here. Now if the body feels taxed in any way, just take your breath to that place. We all have a great capacity to heal our own being. And just notice what you're feeling now. This really is a practice of awareness, mindfulness in the body, mind, and heart. And then if you would please, over the next few moments, find your way up to sitting. I recommend sitting if you have either at the edge of a cushion or a blanket. It's helpful to, or even in a chair, for those of you who need to sit in a chair, it's not a problem. We'll sit for a few minutes. And then come to the edge of whatever it is you're sitting on. You might like to lift the fleshy part of the buttocks. Let your legs relax out. I like to take my hands alongside and gently press down into the earth and lift the crown. Or take a hand on the crown and lift up, lift up. So the spine is long. And you notice if you're leaning forward or back, but see if you can now come to the place of center. The neck is long. As you inhale, roll your shoulders up, and as you exhale, roll them back. Let's do that again. Inhale up, and exhale them back. One more time. And then let your shoulder blades rest on the back body. It's like they're tucking right under your heart, like two little hands just supporting you. And your hands can rest on your legs, palms up or down, or in your lap. And sometimes I take a blanket and place it in my lap to rest my hands. And if it's comfortable for you, allow the eyes to close. So we just turn attention inward. Certainly we can meditate with eyes open. It's not a problem. With a gentle gaze on something. Right? And there'll be times that you'll see me in and out of poses because I want to be able to, for you to hear me. So right now, here we are. And as you sit here, just let your awareness feel into where you are. I like to call it take inventory, right, in this body. So let your awareness scan around for just a few moments and feel where you are now. I think of it as an interesting investigation, right? This amazing adventure of exploration. Some places are open or closed. And it's all okay. And then take a moment and you begin to feel how your breath breathes the body. How there's a natural response. There's an expansion and a contraction. The ribs expand, the arms move. Just notice how the breath moves in your body. And it's not unusual, the breath and energy are that body of the prana body. So you begin to notice how the energy feels today. And by, as you're there with the breath, you notice the quality of your mind today and your heart also interconnected, our mental, emotional body. Some feelings feel pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. The mind could be busy thinking. And then recognize the part of you that is aware of it all. That place of compassionate awareness, loving awareness, the witness to it all. I like to begin my day by just reminding myself that there is a safe harbor right here. We take refuge right here in our own being, in the infinite that is ourself. And so I remind myself from now, and if you like, you can just repeat these words or whisper them to yourself. So from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in loving awareness, my true home. And pause for a moment and feel that place of home right here. But because we are all human and we stumble and we fall, I remind myself from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in the path of loving awareness, the road that leads me home. And this speaks to all of our beautiful practices and teachings that point us back in the direction. And then lastly, I vow to take refuge in the Sangha, my teachers, my friends, my spiritual family, those who aspire to live awake and free. And in this moment, I just begin to think about my loved ones, my friends, my teachers, all those beings that hold me up. Some I may never have even met because they've been an inspiration. So just feel into your Sangha. And then just as we did before, connect to feeling the breath. Our breath is portable, it's with us always. It is one of the practices, right, that can bring us home. So right now, as you feel your breath, just notice if the breath feels long or short. And just invite a few easy, long, steady breaths. And let your awareness ride on the wave of breath, the rising, the falling, and the spaces in between. And the next time you inhale, find again the rhythm of your breath. You can count to the inhale, and then when you reach the top, pause there for a count of 2 to 3, and then allow the exhale, again with that rhythm. So inhaling, as you inhale, just count a little bit. 1 Om, 2 Om, 3 Om, 4 Om, 5 Om. Hold at the top without struggle. And then as you release, again, release to that rhythm. Do a few breaths in that way. And then allow the count to fall away. And allow yourself to be breathed. And begin to notice where you feel this breath most predominantly. Some of us feel it as the abdomen rises and falls. Some of us are more aware of it when the ribs expand or the chest. Expanding and contracting. But some of us are most aware just as the breath comes into the nostrils, in and out. Just take a moment and find your spot without struggling to find it. And rest there. Take refuge there for just a few minutes. When we choose to rest in a place, it lets us see where the mind wanders, where the heart is feeling. And if the mind is distracted, you just note it as a distraction. It's not a problem. You just notice how the mind does what it does. What's happening for you these days. But for these few minutes, we're just going to anchor the mind. So just invite it with so much kindness, just back to the breath. And you can gently, there's a little whisper note, in and out, rising, falling. Or simply rest with sensations. So let's sit like that together for a few minutes. In a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bowl, and let your awareness follow the sound from the beginning to the middle to the end. And then just take a moment and notice how you feel right now. If you would just bring your hands to your own heart. And as you feel your own heart, may we dedicate whatever we are doing here today to reach out to our loved ones. A way of dedicating everything you do right now to the world so that we move through this with some ease. And bring your hands in prayer, Anjali Mudra. And let's chant the sound of Om. Jai Bhagwan, Namaste, everybody. Hmm. So we'll continue right where you're sitting. I'm just moving sideways so you can see me a little better. And after sitting like that, I love to do this butterfly pose, again another yin pose, because it helps to decompress the spine. Okay, so right here, bring the soles of your feet together and just slide them away so you make a nice little diamond shaped here. And then there's a little dog tilt, a little hinge in the hips. Just the gentlest lifting out of the way so as not to compress the lower back. And then let your spine just round down to wherever it goes. And if it doesn't go too far, it's not a problem. Just is what it is. Now, sometimes our body is a great tool. You can just take your elbows on your shins, hands in prayer, and support the head at the third eye or on your chin. Some people like to take a block. Rest the head or your hands. And then over time, it's not unusual as you breathe that the body begins to relax a little bit, and you might move that away. So just as we began before, find that appropriate edge. Let your breath be a steady companion for you. Here we allow the spine to gently round because you're reaching in through each of the vertebrae in this way. And the spine's not engaged as we do when we lengthen it. Here we're just letting it round. Unless you have some, chronic issue in the back and you need a little support, then just gently lengthen. And again, let awareness scan around and let it show you where you can relax a little bit. So we get to see and meet ourselves, as I said earlier. And today is happy spring, right? And the equinox. So it's about new beginnings. It's about clearing away the old. And we find ourselves doing that internal and external cleansing. It's also about finding balance, equanimity, accepting and meeting things as they are. It may not be what I want. This is not what any of us want, but it's what we have. Not what I want, but what I got. And how do I want to manage this moment? How can I keep my heart alive and open? How can I help? Remember your breath again. If you have that Ujjayi breath, use it. And this time, bring your awareness right below the navel. In that sacred center, the Dantian. And here we are gathering the energy and on the exhale storing it. So take a few breaths in that way as you inhale, gathering, and as you exhale, storing. And now, right from that place, as you inhale now, visualize the breath and energy sweeping down under the root, up along the back of your spine, over the crown, right to the third eye at the center of your forehead. And pause there 2 counts. And as you exhale, visualize it streaming down along the front of the spine, right back down to the second center. Again, pausing 2 counts. Now your breath might not move as I direct, but I'm giving you the instruction. So from that place, that second center right below the navel, as you inhale, sweep awareness and breath down and under, up along the back of the spine, over the crown to the third eye. Pause. And as you exhale, down along the front, back down. Do that just a few more times on your own. Another breath or two here. And then bring your hands to the earth and gently lengthen or roll the spine up. Reach back behind you. Just let your shoulders relax, kind of settle in and stretch out your legs. It's not unusual, there's a little achiness, and if there is, it's just the bones kind of talking to you. But then pay attention, because the energy begins to move and flood the body and the system. And feel the effect of where you've been. You know, every action has a result. We get to know if our actions are wise and skillful by paying attention. And then please come on up to sitting. And let's warm the spine up now with a little gentle movement. So a little bit of a yang practice from the yin practice. So once again, sitting on the edge of your cushion or blanket. Get grounded and long. Bring your hands out to the side. And close your eyes. This time elongate the spine and breathe up and down that central channel. Imagine, I like to think of the central channel like an invisible spine, just kind of holding you right where you are. Of light and energy and love. Again, deepen the breath. As you inhale, a few sun breaths, inhale, lengthen out through the arms right from your heart. As you rise up, lift the heart. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the heart, right down in front of you. And once again, circle it around, beautiful sun breaths. And bring that morning sun right into your heart. And do that one or two more times on your own. And now the next time, as you exhale from your arms up in the air, as you exhale, lower the left hand down. And as you inhale, touch the earth. And as you inhale, lengthen through the right side. As you exhale, just arc over to the side a little bit. Ground down through that right sitting bone. And as you inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, ease into your edge. Now we're again meeting the edge, but it's a little different, right? There's engagement in the muscle, but we're also scanning to see, where can I relax a little bit? And then you can explore movement a little bit with the hand and the wrist, the elbow and the shoulder. A little inquiry of movement here. Maybe the spine rolls open a little bit. And then bring your arm near your ear, and as your next exhale, see if your body wants to go a little bit further. And to release as you inhale, press into the earth. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, release the arm down. Pause for a moment and feel the right and the left side. Bring a little smile to the face and appreciate gratitude for this precious body. Cultivating that feeling of gratitude. Grounded and long, and then inhale, lift up through the left arm. As you exhale, slide the right arm over and come on over. Again, reground through that left sitting bone. Elongate as you inhale. As you exhale, just roll the belly, ribs, and chest open a little bit. You can look up and you can look down. Keep your breath steady and rhythmic, and then again, explore that left arm and hand and wrist and shoulder. Arcing and rounding the spine a little bit. Like, let this be your inquiry, your yoga, your movement. And then bring your arm next to your ear. And once again, take a big breath in. As you exhale, see if the body wants to go a little bit further. And to release, press into the earth. Inhale, lift the arm up and release it down. Pause in the moment. Don't miss this. You know, these pauses between the poses are really the second half of the pose. And the energy begins to flood the body and goes where it needs. And then if you would bring your hands behind you, you don't have to turn, I'm just turning for you to see. Bring your hands behind you, either fingertips towards you or turned away. And then slide your sacrum down. We're going to do a little back bend, right? Draw the navel back as you inhale, lift the heart, press into your hands, and press the heart forward. Now the neck stays long. The word, I've lost the word. Don't rush into letting the head fall back. Keep the neck nice and long here as you lift the heart up. Lift it up. And as the neck gets really nice and long, it might then just plunk back for a moment. And you can open the mouth and stretch the tongue. Do that again and let go of any sounds you want to and what you don't need. And then release it. To release, press into your hands, roll the spine up, head comes last. Take a moment there. And then hinge at the hips. Walk your hands out in front of you. So we're moving the spine now forward. And again, press into the hands just a little bit to keep it in your hips and not your knees. And breath by breath, walk it away. And don't collapse here. So this is a forward bend, right? But we're not rounding the spine yet. First, elongate. And then scoop the abdomen and reach into it. Feel your front body grow long. And breath by breath, come in that way. Front body elongates, you scoop and you just ease in breath by breath. And you can even reach through one side and the other. Explore a little movement here, like a little cat stretching on the carpet. And then your last breath, let your body, upper body just gently round and sink into it. And then to release, bring your hands to the earth, lengthen the spine, and walk your hands back towards your legs. And again, pause for a moment. And again, wish yourself well. May I meet this moment fully. May I meet it as a friend. I accept things as they are. A blessing of equanimity. And then we'll move the body into a twist. So take your left hand on your right knee and your right hand behind you. And to begin, elongate the spine. And as you exhale, begin moving from the belly. Hold back from turning the head. Remember, breath by breath, as you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, the ribs then move. And as the breath happens, the body elongates. It sometimes unwinds a little bit. And then belly, ribs, and chest. That right shoulder can roll back. And then finally, the neck and the head. And breath by breath, you can feel on the inhale, the body expands a little bit. And on the exhale, you can ease in a little bit. You can even let your eyes go a little bit and find that little drishti, or focus point. And then turn your head over to look over the left shoulder. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, look left and twist right. Kind of wring it out like a mop. And to release, as you inhale, lift the back arm up and unwind it back. Don't miss the delicious gift. Savor that, actually. And then let's go in the other direction. Take your right hand on your left leg and your left hand behind you. As you inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, begin the movement from the belly. And you know the drill now. Breath by breath, elongate and move in just a little bit deeper. Feel your body doing that. Until finally the head turns and the eyes turn. So you're wringing out whatever we're not needing here in these twists, nourishing the inner organs, grateful for this precious body and this life, wishing ourselves well. And then last breath or two, turn your head over to look over your right shoulder. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale again, wring it out. And then slowly release the back arm and unwind. And then if you would, release your whatever you're sitting on, turn to the length of your mat. And to find our way down on the ground, bring your feet to standing. But before we do that, let's just have a little fun with some balance, right? Because the equinox is about balance, so a little balance here. So right here, take your hands behind your legs and lengthen your spine. So grow strong in your core and just tip back a little bit and lift your feet. And then you can lift them a little more. And if you feel brave, you can release your hands and say, yes, I'm open here to this universe. May we create balance and love and compassion more and more in our lives. One more breath. Reach into that. And to release your legs down and slowly lower your body back down onto the floor. When you come back down onto the ground, begin to align the spine by taking your hands behind the back of the head and lift them just an inch or so. Support the head. The head grows heavy, and then release the head down. Bring your arms by your side. And you can just lift your fingertips towards the sky or ceiling. Press into your elbows and just wiggle or wriggle your shoulder blades down a little. And then let them spread and relax your arms down. And then if you would, bring your awareness down to the lower back and just rock that a little bit in and out. And you'll feel that big arc and then flattening it. And then find the place in the center. And then if you would draw your knees in and take hold and open them wide. Some of you might like to slide your hands on the inside to hold the ankles. Here, make sure that your crown, your shoulder blades, not your crown, the back of your head, your shoulder blades, and your sacrum are on the ground. If it works, you can take hold of your toes and lift your feet into a full happy baby, or any of the other modifications, variations. And take 3 to 5 long breaths here, just to bring balance back to the spine, balance back to our system. And then release your hands. Bring your feet back to the earth one at a time. And prepare your body for a short rest. If you have a cover for your eyes, I recommend it. Let your legs splay out a little bit. Your hands can rest on your belly or one on your heart. Or out by your side with the palms up and open. And just as we've done before, take a few of those long, silky breaths. And as you exhale, though, now let that be an intention to relax. As the back body begins to soften down, held by Mother Earth. On the next breath, as you inhale, breathing into the front body. And as you exhale, allowing that to soften and relax. As you bring awareness to the muscles of your face and notice if there's any tension or expression. Again, a breath and just simply relax. Everything's okay. The eyes soften, cheeks, the tongue. The jaw gently relaxes and the lips gently part. Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat Swaha. So as you hear the sound of the bell and the sound of my voice, just begin to feel yourself back in the room. And as your breath begins to deepen, feel yourself back in the body. And before we come out, I like to share this reading with you. So just bring your hand to your own heart and listen to this reading from the Radiance Sutras and its interpretation by Lauren Roach. It's called The One Who Is at Play Everywhere. There is a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating and give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is here and a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. You who are the embodiment of blessing. I will say that again. You who are the embodiment of blessing, once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again. Answer that call and be saturated with knowing. I belong here. I am at home. I belong here. I am at home. So if you would draw your knees into your chest and roll to one side. Pause there for a moment, reminding yourself, I belong here, I am at home. I can meet this moment fully as a friend. And then please bring your hands to the earth and rise up to sitting. And take a moment to find your way back onto your cushion or your blanket. Get grounded and long. And again, allow the eyes to close. And take these last few moments to feel where you are now, the gift of where you've been. Acknowledge what's happening in the body and mind and heart. And then please take a moment and reflect on our time together and your time in practice, and notice what might stand out for you, any insights or highlights. And then please go in a little bit deeper to that voice of wisdom, knowing. And from that place ask, given all that's happened here today and all that's happening in my life in the world, what is it that I need to know now? What is the wisdom for me now? And listen inwardly. You might hear a word or a phrase or a page, but for right now, listen for a little wisdom. You can certainly continue listening when we're complete. What is it I need to know? Hear that word or phrase just for you. And then repeat that back to yourself so that the feeling tone of that blessing begin to flood through your whole system. And then please let us take a breath. And as you exhale, send those blessings, that feeling out 360 degrees to everyone and everything everywhere. so that may the benefit of this practice swiftly reach out to touch all hearts, so that all beings might know happiness and the root of happiness. May we all feel safe and protected. May we all feel healthy and strong. May we live with ease. May all be free of all suffering and the root of suffering. May this reach out to touch everyone without one exception. May we remember that while this time is uncertain, it does not prevent us from gratitude and love and to celebrate our existence. It is the most sacred gift, this precious human life. And if you'd like to join me, there's a little blessing, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. We'll chant the sound of Om, and that chant 3 times, and then end with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Let's begin with the sound of Om. Om. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings know peace and joy and love and light. Jai Bhagwan, namaste everyone. Thank you. Blessings to you all until we meet again.